life, of age. I don't want to insult anybody here, but experience over age is the mentality of the Lakers as they stack their roster for the upcoming campaign. Their biggest addition, 32-year-old Russell Westbrook. And then there's also 37-year-old Carmelo Anthony, who, by the way, is the same age as LeBron. AD, the final member of the newly founded Big Three, is 28. So this brings the age average down a bit, but listen to this, gentlemen. Once these moves become official, the Lakers will have 13 players on their roster, 8 of whom are age 32 or older. The average age of the players projected to be on their roster, nearly 33 years old, putting LA on track to have the oldest team in NBA history. And I just mentioned in the bottom, right now, Staples Center is being called the old folks' home. So, Sam, are the Lakers just too old?
I think they are. I really do. And it's not just because of age, because I think that with age comes experience. And I respect age. Max, as you know, I talked about LeBron and his experience, but I'm more concerned about the injuries. Like, that's where my issues come. One of your youngest superstars, AD, he's 28 years old, but he's been injury prone. He was out for 30 games last year. LeBron James, who's 36 years old, who's went to championship after championship after championship, he missed 26 last year. And then 2 years before, he missed 17 games in a row before we had to sit out the rest of the season. Carmelo Anthony, who we're glad that the Lakers fans are ecstatic right now. You got your shooter. He's 37. And so I'm not necessarily concerned about the age when it comes to experience. I'm more concerned about health. I'm high on the Lakers, but can they stay healthy? Max, you talk all the time about these hypothetical situations, assuming everybody in the world is healthy. We can't assume that. And so that's why you got to look at the age of these players and say, you know what? I think they're all talented. Russell Westbrook, 32 years old, super talented. But man, when you start getting older, the wear and tear on your body, we saw it this year with the shortened offseason, people get injured. And so that's where my concerns come with this LA Lakers team. Are they talented? Yes. Are they old? I believe they're old, and that you're going to see it when it comes with some of the injuries that you're going to see this year.
That's right. You can't deny that with age comes injury, although AD's always been injury prone. I don't know if his age has anything to do with it, and he's not old. He's in his prime, ostensibly. And Westbrook's been remarkably healthy, knock wood. And every year he's with new teammates on a new team. And in the first half, we're like, well, that's it. Age has caught up. And in the second half, we go, damn, this dude is like an MVP. So I expect that to continue. LeBron, 2 of the last 3 years, a normal Iron Man type guy has missed large chunks, and they've missed the playoffs and not advanced in the playoffs because of it, right? And he couldn't, well, they missed AD, but also LeBron wasn't at 100%. That's legitimate. But if you need to list the reasons the Lakers may not win other than a healthy Nets team, I wouldn't say age is number one. The number one issue is the shooting. Because you have 3 players who are going to get the majority of the minutes, right? You have 48 minutes at each position, 5 positions, and you're going to get a huge chunk of those minutes at 3 positions, often playing on the floor at the same time, with a guy in Westbrook who doesn't shoot it well, a guy in LeBron James who shoots it average for his position, you'd say, in today's NBA, and a guy in AD who you might say the same. They don't have enough shooting there. The best shooter on the team in the starting lineup is Wayne Ellington. Unless you start Gasol, who at times, given the matchup, was a little unplayable in these playoffs. Dwight Howard's not a shooter, obviously. They need shooting. They picked up Trevor Ariza, Monk. They picked up some guys, but they need shooting. And if those guys shoot it well, in fact, Talen Horton-Tucker is their most valuable kind of commodity going forward. The guy with the most room for improvement who you believe can fulfill excellent potential. And he's not a shooter. So they really, he might wind up this year being the 4th best guy on the team, and he doesn't shoot it. So age, yes, but if you're checking off age as the number one concern, I think you're overlooking the actual number one concern on this team.
Well, that's why you go and you add Carmelo, right? You add Carmelo. We know that Russell Westbrook drives. We know that LeBron at his best is going downhill. But you add a guy like Carmelo who can maybe expand the floor a little bit. And I understand shooting is still an issue, but I think LA is actually addressing the issue. Let's add Carmelo, THT, let's see what he can do. But we're making moves in the right direction. I think that, Milwaukee Bucks, they won the NBA championship this year. Their shooting wasn't excellent, and they found a way to win. Yes, you can talk about injuries, right? Injuries happen. But I think that Carmelo coming into this lineup with LeBron, with AD, who could take the last shot and help you win a game, with Russell Westbrook, I think is a formidable matchup. But age, in my opinion, is the biggest issue because, once again, it goes back to not only are you able to make the play, but are you available, right? Availability over ability. Yes, you could have the best shooters. If they're not available to shoot, it don't matter.
Carmelo's was once a great scorer and is still an effective one. He's bad defensively, but he is not like a catch and shoot kind of guy. Like one of the reasons it looked like he was out of the league for a second, and I was fooled into thinking it, is because the landscape shifted under his feet, and he was neither a 3 nor D guy. He could hit a 3, but he's like on ball, monopolizing it, running an offense, and so he didn't do any special thing well enough, people thought, to be a valuable role player. It turns out, actually, but he can still do everything well enough on offense to contribute. But that's not what I mean by he's not a catch-and-shoot 3 guy, which it's probably a pretty good idea to put on the floor with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. Maybe not just another ball-dominant guy, right? They have issues in terms of fit and in terms of shooting, I think, that supersede age. I still like him out of the West. I said all that. I still like him out of the West.
Okay, well, the average age of the last 10 championship teams is 28.4. The Lakers, at this point, they're about 5 years above that. The last team to win a championship that was above the age of 30 as an average.
Bulls?
No, the Miami Heat, 2012, 2013, common denominator, LeBron James. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, I got 3 words for you. Hustle, loyalty.
Was in the house, led by your boy. You know I'm back because there's a lot to discuss. Max, Molly, I see baseball trades going on. I see NBA draft stuff going on. I saw Russell Westbrook end up becoming the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron has done it again. Or has he? All that and more to discuss, like I told you. The crew's in the house. But today, let's get it.
A goal is to win another championship.
That is the goal right now, and that is the motivation right now.
I ain't choose the game chose me. I'm a champion, I need some trophies.
This would definitely be a trio to be reckoned with.
LeBron James delivering AD dynamite. Westbrook, he just doesn't stop.
I'm a champion, I need some trophies.
First take on a Feel Good Friday. We have so much to get into today, and I promise that is not an exaggeration. Blockbuster trade, the draft, Alex Smith live, and of course, Stephen A. Smith is back.
What's
All
going
things
on,
NBA.
I
So good to
thought
see
my
you.
head was going to explode yesterday. Like there was too much stuff happening
Well,
at once.
I kept thinking, like, we got the draft. Stephen A. hasn't talked about Aaron Rodgers, and then more and more keeps happening.
The Yankees
2
and
hours
Dodgers
isn't
pull
enough.
off blockbuster trades. Like everything was
There's
happening.
a lot.
I will confess, I watched, did a great job yesterday, and I was just watching. And I said, I'm just going to sit back and chill.
Yeah.
I don't have to. And I said, it's just nice just to sit back and watch. I don't have to work today.
Yeah.
And then I remember, damn, I got to get up tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
But
But
it's
you got
NBA.
some sleep, I can
So
see.
you're all about it.
I got some sleep.
That's good. Much deserved. All right, guys, so let's go. Russell Westbrook going back to Cali to team up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis and wear the iconic purple and gold. So here's how it breaks down. Russ and a pair of future second-round picks are heading to L.A. Washington's Hall is centered around a trio of players that includes Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Max Kellerman.
Yeah.
What is the impact of the Russ trade to the Lakers?
They have a legitimate answer to the Nets right now. Like, sometimes it's this easy. They had 2 of them dudes. The Nets had 3. The Nets had the only real big 3. The Suns look like they might for a sec. The Nets have 3 future Hall of Famers, 3 guys who could score from anywhere. The most skilled at their size you could ever ask. History of basketball. Who's at their size more skilled than any one of those 3 guys? The Lakers had no shot. If everyone was healthy this year, it would have been Nets and Lakers. The Lakers would have been thrashed by these Nets. Now they got 3 dudes. Russell Westbrook's one of them dudes. And let me say something. People are going to get caught up on how it all fits together. That is not the issue here. The issue is bring in the talent. Do they need shooting? Yes. None of these guys are shooters, especially not Westbrook for his position. But can you find shooters? You think guys won't play on the vet minimum for this team? Of course they will. Whether they wind up with Kevin Love or they figure out a sign and trade with 3-team deal, they still have Schroeder, Talen Horton-Tucker. Those guys aren't great fits. Could they still swing something for Buddy Hield? Who knows? They'll be just fine. And one more thing about Russell Westbrook. Every single year, 3-4 years now, he's on a new team with new teammates. First half of the season, we're all like, Westbrook's finished. He's no good anymore. Because he's trying to figure things out because contrary to popular belief among some, he is a team player. He's trying to figure out how to help the team. Second half, he's figured it out. He's learned his teammates. He knows his role. And then in the second half of every year, we go, he's having an MVP caliber second half. I expect the same thing to happen this year. Stephen A., if the Lakers are healthy, this is a real series if the Nets are healthy. It wouldn't have been before. It is now.
Well, that's really stepping out on the limb. It's a real series. Really? That's all you got? Because let me tell you something. That's obvious, Max Kellerman. There's no question that it's going to be a series if they were to meet. There's no question that it's a formidable big three, and the Lakers deserve a boatload of credit. Rob Pelinka, way to go in terms of assembling this and pulling this trade off, which obviously has happened. And I think Russell Westbrook is worth it. We all know he's a superstar. We all know he's a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. We know at the age of 32 going on 33, he's still a